everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I am back here with card number 2 from our Wisteria Wishes bundle, and this is for my online class, and we chose this bundle, and this is what card number 2 looks like. Isn't it gorgeous? It's got like 2 little box planners on the side, and it folds right up and goes into a card envelope, and you can mail it to somebody. How wonderful is that? And if you didn't want to write on the inside, you could definitely add a panel on the back and attach it to the back. So I'm going to show you how I created this card. Please bear with me as I go through these. I've made this a while ago, and so it's like all refreshing in my head. So let's get started. The first thing we have are a couple panels that we need. So we need this and this big panel, and then we have these panels. These we'll set aside till we're ready for them. Okay, so we have one of the base of the panel, which is the main card panel, and this one is 7.5 by 5.5. Then we have 2 box panels, and these are 6.5 by 2.5, and we need 2 of them. These are our 2 boxes on each side. So we're going to bring out first this the score. You can either use a scoreboard or you can use your trimmer. I'm going to use this because I find it's a little easier to get in the camera with. On the first one, you're going to score at 1 5/8 on the side. So it's past the half. It's 2 tick marks past the half-inch line. So you got the half-inch line, and then it's 1, 2 tick marks. That is your 5/8. 1 5/8. So we're going to take it and we're going to score, and then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do it again on that line again, and we're going to score. I just find that to be the easiest way to do it. Okay, now we're going to set that aside. Then on the boxes, you're going to score at a 1/2 inch. So we're going to put this down. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score at 2.5. Then we're going to score at 4. And at 6. Okay, and we're going to set this one aside, and we're going to do the same thing to the other one. We're going to score at a 1/2 inch. And then we're going to score at 2.5, at 4, and 6. Okay, so now we're going to set that aside. Now we have 2 pieces of Orchard's Oasis, and these are mechanisms that are going to go inside our boxes. You will not see these, so these could actually be any color, but this is what I used because I had a bunch of scraps of it left over. And these are 1/2 inch by 5 3/4, and you are going to score them at a 1/2 inch. So we're going to put it down here at a 1/2 inch and score. And then we're going to score at 2.5, at 3 1/4, and then at 5 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to do it again on this one. So we're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. Oops, that kind of moved, so make sure we get it. There we go. And then at 2, looking at my sheet again, 2.5, 3 1/4, and then 5 1/4. Okay, so now let's put some of these things together here. So we're going to start with the base and my scoring tool here. And we're going to score this over like this. And then we're going to score this over like this. They do not meet. Okay? So so far we have this. Now let's get our boxes. And we're going to score these. Mechanisms and things like that. Now you could use what is it, the Stampin' Seal Plus, that would probably work too, or you can use some score tape, and I'm just going to use some score tape. I think it works, well. I think the Stampin' Seal Plus would definitely work well too, because that is very strong. But I have a bunch of this left over, so I'm going to use it. And I'm probably going to add another piece to these, or either glue. Sometimes I like to do that too. And that's probably what I'll do. I'll add some liquid glue. I like to get this close to the edge, and then on the opposite side right here, I would want to put some glue. So we're going to I'm going to tear this off. There we go. If there's any hanging over, just tuck it in a little bit. I'm going to get some liquid glue. I'm just going to put a tiny bit. I don't want it overflowing, but I want it to catch on the edge here. Okay? So like I got very little, like you can barely see it. Then I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to fold it back, and I'm taking the edge of this piece, the corner, and I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to line the piece up with the bottom and the side. So it's like that. So I lined it up with the bottom and the side, okay? And now we're going to go ahead, and why we have this kind of opened here is we are going to be adding this little mechanism in the center of this, because I think it's easier to do it now than it is to do it later. So we're going to take glue dots. Oh, I made a mistake, guys. Oh no. Okay, I'll definitely show you on the other one my mistake, but I could fix it on this side. Thank goodness we only use a glue dot. I took this out, which was okay. I made a mistake. It's easy to do. I'll show you it better on the other one. Alright? Alright, now I'll show you the right way. And then you just keep kind of going back and forth with these a little bit. Make it do what you want it to do. If you have to rescore this a little bit, sometimes the way we score things, just kind of have it go back and forth. The more you go the way you want it to close, the more it will close and open easier. So see, so that's what I did there. Now let's do this side, and I'll show you what I made a mistake on. Okay? So this time we're going to be working, see, now I'm getting all a little flustered here. We're going to move this off from here. Okay. So we got that off. I got a little bit hanging over, so we're going to put that in. We're going to put a little bit of glue along the top. Everything here is fine so far, the same as we did before. We're going to take this, we're going to line the top, oh, this way, sorry. I want to go on this end this time. I almost would have had it backwards. And we're going to put this right here. And we're going to glue it down. We're just making sure we're all straight, and we are. So we can attach that down. Now this is where I made my mistake. First of all, this line part right here has to be above this score right here. See how we have that score? You want this right there above and in the center. And that's where I screwed up. Plus I made another little mistake. So you want this here like this. And this overlaps, but it only overlaps a tiny bit. So kind of when you're putting this up here, see that this is about the same, it's kind of square, I guess, is what you want it to do. So I'm going to put another glue dot, and then I'm going to set this up like this, but I want it square with the one that's up at the top. So see how I did that? That's kind of how I definitely want that to be, is like that. So then when I pick this up, and this will come in like this, it'll all fit. And you want to make sure it's down, because you're going to have to tuck underneath that just a little bit. See how I have it tucked under there a little bit? That's what you're going to want to do with this next one that you put down. That's how it should have been done. And of course I, you know, didn't do it the right way. So we're going to fold this over like that. Take a glue dot and attach it. You could put 2 on here if you don't feel that 1 is enough. I didn't have any trouble with just 1, but you know. So when you bring this over, kind of make sure it's in the center. Attach the glue dot right there. Oh, add a little liquid glue. Okay. Kind of tuck it underneath that little mechanism you put in there. Line this up. Oops. Don't stick yet. Make sure you have it lined up on the bottom and all along the side. And if you, that's where you could push it in to tuck it down underneath that little mechanism right there. Okay, now that's how that should have went together, and that's a lot easier. I just screwed up over here and didn't attach it right. And then again, you're just going to push this down. If you need to rescore anything, I do not have to. And then you're just going to push this back. I didn't let that dry quickly enough before I folded it, so we'll just kind of reassure it. Okay, so now we're going to let that sit there for a little bit while we get to some stamping. And I'm going to zoom you guys back out. Make sure I'm going the right way. Okay, yep, okay. Here we go. And we're going to get to some stamping. So we need our other parts. Now I did a lot of my stamping ahead of time only because this part of the video would have taken forever if I did not. So I'm just going to explain to you what I did. I did the same thing. I used the Wisteria, or the Orchard Oasis. I do not know why I want to call this Wisteria Wonder. It has nothing to do with that. But Orchard Oasis, I'm getting there. And I stamped this off. So I stamped it once, just kind of like I did with the Blushing Bride. I stamped it off, and then I went back with the other one and stamped on it, just like I did in the last video. If you did not see my card number 1, go back, check that out, and I did that in this video. Did the same thing. And then I also went ahead and I stamped all the leaves, and I stamped them in the Para Pizzazz. Okay? And so I'm not going to be doing these parts. And I die cutted them all out. You needed 2 for each side. So what I am going to do is I'm going to do my stamping on this one. So you'll see a little bit of what I did, but I did the same thing to these ones, okay? So now we're going to bring in our leaf stamp here. So we're going to bring in this leaf like we did the last time. This one goes this way. And we're going to stamp it right here, kind of off the page a little bit, but straight. If that kind of straighter than I did the last one. The last one they were blowing in the wind. So there we go. And then we're going to take the, I guess they look like lilacs to me, but I'm really not sure if they are or aren't. We're going to stamp off. Whoops, that's not good. Let's do that again. I was off my mat. So we want to make sure we're definitely on our mat. Okay, stamp off. I'll bring this in. I don't know what I got on my paper. And we are going to stamp again. So it's very light, like that. Then we're going to take the other little, I'm going to call them lilacs. I don't know. Is that what they are? If you know, leave me a comment. I just love this whole flower. I love this color. So, okay, so now we have this. So now I'm going to take the black, and I used the same greeting to a friend who's all kinds of wonderful. And I stamped this down here in the bottom of the card, like that. Then we're going to go ahead and we are going to be taking the pool party and the pool party sponge, and we're going to do our sponging again. So it looks like that. All right. And then we can go ahead and we can start assembling our card. So we don't need this now. Move this out of the way. Oh, I might run out of adhesive by the time this video is done. I'll have to get some more. We're going to put this on the inside. Just move our baskets out of the way. Baskets. Oops, not too far down. Kind of center it here. Sorry if my head's in the video. I've got to see. There we go. I think that's good. And then now I think they've dried enough so you can fold one way and then just kind of, and what you're folding, see how that's lifting right there? I got to add more glue. I don't want that lifting. If yours gets that way, oh, it went down. Okay. That's why I added that little extra glue there, was because I didn't want it to pull or lift on the card. Okay. So now we got that. Now we're going to decorate these two inside panels. So we have our DSP and our white paper. And all the measurements to these are on my PDF, so you don't have to worry about the measurements. When you ordered the online class, you got all the measurements and stuff for, and the scores and all that. And we're going to put this one right in here. The best we can. Okay. And then we'll do this one. And this is the new DSP in Color Designer Series. Yep, it ran out. Okay. There we go. Let me grab another refill here. And cut this open. Good time for you guys all to learn on how I refill my refills. I take this out. I look and see if there's goop in here, which there definitely is, and I pull any of that out. I look at the other side and see if there's anything on this one, and there's not. So, but I double check with my fingers. And then I just go ahead and I place this one inside. It's really easy. Put this on here, and then you have to prime it. So there you go. And it's that easy. And then we will start. Okay. And then we'll put this piece right in here. There we go. All right. Now we're going to decorate our side little panels here. We got 2 pieces of white, and then we got the 2 pieces of DSP. Sometimes you have to prime it a little bit more as you go until it gets a flowing again. So if it stops, you always got to prime it. And that's usually because you had a big goob or something, or where you pulled it up. When you pulled it up, like when you're putting this down, if you don't come to a stop, and then it's not really a flick, you just have to come to a stop. But if you don't come to a stop and you just keep going, I can't do it. There's usually a string of this stuff that comes, and that's usually why you get the have to reprime it. I can't do it now when I want to, but I do it often. So, because sometimes when you're a demonstrator, you're in a hurry. And that's what happens, so. Okay. Oops, I think I may have this down too far. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to add our little flowers into this. So first, we got to glue them together. So we're going to get our glue. We're going to put a little dab on the tops of this one, just like we did before. Okay, as you could see there in the video, I flipped these over because I had a little extra glue and I did not want anything to be sticky back there, so I just dabbed it with some powder so that when you close and open it, it will not make a mess. So I'm going to put these in, but can you tell what's happening here? I've got this flower. Let me see if I could show you. I'm putting these in, but I got this flower. It won't fit in straight. I got this leaf sticking out here. So no one's going to see it, so I'm going to snip it. And now my flower, my leaf will go, my flower will go down in. Now I want this one in the front of this, on the front panel, of that little mechanism we put in there. And then I want the other one on the back of the mechanism. And I want it up a little higher. So I'm going to take glue dots and put it on the bottoms of these, and I'm going to attach it down in there. Okay? I wanted one down lower than the other. And if your mechanism, it looks like my mechanism on this side might be a little lower than this side. If you move your mechanism up towards the top more, you get more of this look. And my mechanism, when I redid this one, it's way down at the bottom. I'm going to pause and fix this, and then I will be back. Okay, I'm back. I fixed it the best I could under the circumstances. You want to have it when you put that mechanism in, like I did on this side. This side it was a little too low, so make sure you follow the directions when I showed you on this one. So anyways, you're going to snip this piece off of the first one in the front, because this one's going to go down in a little deeper and it hits over here. So we want to snip this leaf off on it. So you take that leaf off, and then we're going to put some glue dots on the back side of this. And you can roll them in so that they are all just on the lower bottom part. Okay. And then we're going to stick this in the front of the little Alright, now this one, because I want it a little bit higher, I don't need to cut that one off because it's okay. Alright, I don't have to cut this leaf off. So this one's going to go in the back side of it. So this time we have to put the glue dots on the front. Add all sorts of stuff to these and make them shine more. You could add a little more bling, but that is all I did for this card. And you just keep playing with it, laying it flat and down, and then it'll just end up flowing like this one. Just laying it flat and down, you know, and the more you do that, the more this will just keep laying down. And I love it. I love how these came out. This one's a little wonky over here due to my mechanism inside. But other than that, this is a wonderful, fun little card to send to somebody. And if you didn't want to write on the front, again, you could put a panel on the back. So that's everything. I will be back with card number 3, which is